You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 15, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good afternoon, Michigan City. I'll call to order the Board of Public Works and Safety for for Monday, April 15th, 2024. It is 4 o'clock, and we'll get started. Start with a roll call. Mr. Simmons. Present. Mrs. Silvas.
Present.
Mrs. Smith.
Present.
Mrs. Moore.
Present.
Attorney LePage.
Present.
And Mr. York is present as well. We have a quorum. Our first order of business is approval of minutes for our regular hybrid Zoom meeting for April 1st, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
A motion that we make an amendment to remove an extra S on Mr. Simmons' name and approve them with that amendment.
Support. I'll call for the roll. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Miss Silvas?
Aye.
Miss Smith?
Aye.
Miss Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Motion approved. Next order of business, we have an opening for proposals today. This is a request for proposals for the urban forest contract, and I'm going to hand it over to Miss LePage and have her open them up.
Thank you. We've received, can you hear me okay? We've received 3 proposals. The first one is from Davy Tree Company. Just so the public knows, this is a request for proposal, so there isn't an actual lowest bid that I'm announcing today. I'm just taking a peek to make sure that they actually have their submission in here. This will then be referred over to our planner to work with my office in negotiating a contract. The second is from Great Lakes Urban Forestry. Then the third is from Hampton Lenzini and Renwick, Inc. And Mr. President, that's it. Just ask that it be referred to legal and to the forester's office for review and negotiation.
Do we need a formal motion?
Please.
Anyone like to make that motion? Motion that we recommend this to for the consideration to review and process them to Miss LePage and our city forester. Do I hear a motion?
Support. Make a motion.
I'll make the motion. A motion that we recommend these to be considered by our city forester and our legal counsel.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Miss Tisdale?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Miss Moore?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Our next order of business is an update to our Board of Works purchasing policy. This is approval to update the Board of Works purchase policy for supplies, equipment, and services. I'm going to hand this off to Ms. LePage to explain what this approval is for.
So the back of this has exhibits attached to it, and the exhibits are what is required when we receive a federal grant and all of the necessary language and requirements that we have to have if we are then awarding any part of that grant to a subrecipient. There had been a few changes to them, so they would reflect the changes. And also, when this was last presented to you, my copier machine did not duplex all the exhibits on the last one, so this would be to correct that error as well.
Any questions? I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Hearing anything online? Hearing none, I'll close public comment and entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. I fully understand it, read it.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Our next order of business is a contract. This is an agreement between the City of Michigan City and Lexipol LLC for training of the Michigan City firefighters through 2026. Chief, I'll hand this off to you to give us a little or tell us a little bit about what it's about.
Actually, my deputy chief Shannon Borders could probably get a little more in depth about Lexipol since he's the one that's actually been dealing with the company. So the reason why we want to do this though is our SOPs are severely outdated. There's things in there that we're supposed to be abiding by that wasn't even a thing when I got on the job. So we found that Lexipol probably be the easiest way to go because of the legal aspects of everything that's changed over the years and so on and so forth. We know the police use it. I've gotten a hold of a couple other departments throughout the state, 3 or 4 departments throughout the state that use it. They liked it. It just makes things a lot easier. We work with the company. We update our SOPs. They have legal staff involved with it. So the legal portion, it take a load off of Amber having to look it up, make sure everything's cool. So we're just trying to limit our liability or limit any liability, trying to help ourselves out and, better work for the public and stuff. So, and yeah. If you got any other questions,
Any questions from the board?
Well, I read it and understand it, but will not our legal still have to approve
Yes.
Yeah.
And the board will still.
in the board?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I think what Chief needs to also tell you is that all the policies need an overhaul. Like they need
Yeah.
a comprehensive overhaul, and this would provide it at what we think is a reasonable cost.
Yeah.
But it's several years that we would have access to the software.
Right.
And Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the police, not only do they have the changes to the policy, but then it sends the officers hypotheticals and implementation of that.
Yes, there's a
policy. So it'd
training.
be
Right, there's a
Can't-
training thing to it also. So it actually, essentially you can do classes online is what I understand of it. So there is a training component to it also. What we do like about this also is that to go on, you have to actually go online and read this and acknowledge it, you read it instead of just signing off on a piece of paper. So I like the accountability part of that also.
Is that for all personnel?
That would be for all
have to go
personnel in the
online
department.
and read it and
They're supposed to read it, go over it, and acknowledge that they read it, along with the training component. We tried this about 4 years ago to update these things, and for one reason or another, I can speculate why it didn't go through. And they've been sitting on a shelf, and we really haven't had updated SOPs in conservatively several years. We'll say it's been quite a while.
wow.
Like I said, there's things in there that doesn't apply to me, and I've been on the job almost 21 years, so. We're just trying to make life easier for us.
That's all. Any other questions of Chief or Assistant Chief? I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment on this? Anything online? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. It sounds like this is what needs to happen, and it seems like it's been a while. Sounds like it's been a while since you've had this done, so
Quite well, appreciate it.
entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Next order of business is a contract this is for Terry Greetham. Special Events is requesting approval of a silver sponsorship of $5,000 from Comcast Greater Chicago Region for the 2024 special event season. Hey, Eric.
Good afternoon, Board. Eric Williams, Michigan City Special Events. This is just our standard contract for our silver partnership, $5,000. Comcast was a partner last year for the 2023 season, returning again for 2024. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Any questions of Mr. Williams? I'll open it up. Hearing none, I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Anything online? Okay, I'll close public comment and entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Our next order of business is a contract. Keila Ward. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Keila Ward, Director of Workforce Development, is requesting the approval of an agreement between Foundant Technologies and the City of Michigan City for services regarding the Michigan City Promise Scholarship, and this will be a 2-year contract.
Yes. Good afternoon, Board. You've already laid everything out. This is regarding the Michigan City Promise Scholarship, and we are looking to enter into an agreement with Founded to purchase software that would streamline and digitize Promise Scholarship so that we could, make that whole process, uploading applications and monitoring students' performance, everything would be digitized instead of done manually like it is now.
Any questions of Ms. Ward?
Ms. Ward, can you tell us how much time is this gonna save you in regards to but I mean, with your increased duties as the workforce development as well as running a Promise Scholarship, how will this streamline this process help you?
It was streamlined. Right now I'm a one-man band, so I would say spring semester, if I just honed in on the spring, I would say it would save me. Right now I'm using I'm going into the schools quite a bit, so I would say minimally between 12 and 20 hours between the visits to Marquette and the high school to, first of all, see who's eligible, go through that, and then meeting the students in person and then explaining the program, which I will still be doing some recruiting, but it would streamline the process and that once they got, I will be working more closely with guidance in terms of teaching them how to just go on and upload things. So I will be doing that. It will save me quite a bit of hours per week in the spring for sure.
And right
I'll say
now,
12 to 20 hours.
do they have the ability to upload or send you anything? Or are you mostly dealing with paperwork and?
No.
Okay.
So this is also good for our the kids that are in the program as well. It
Absolutely.
makes it easier for
For
them.
them to maintain their scholarship, to reapply, for
Will
me
they
to
be
see
able
their
to-
grades more quickly.
Will they be able to upload their volunteer hours to the website as well?
Everything that they're handing in manually now
Yes.
would be able to upload and monitor. And then the committee, the newly, not newly formed, but the renamed committee that looks at exceptions and accepts the students. Now they would have more access to oversee those things as well.
Great.
That sounds like a great idea. So, I'll open this. Any other questions of Ms. Ward? I'll open it up for public comment.
Yes, this is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street. I want to say, if you have a student that's a member of the National Honor Society, either at Michigan City High School or Marquette, they should, regardless of residency or economic status, they should be able to be qualified to apply and be a recipient of the Michigan City Promise Scholarship. Since the graduating class of Michigan City High School since 2010, I've had 4 members of my family that have graduated as members of the National Honor Society. Now, Thomas and Sparkle and Thomas, they graduated in 2010. I'll give you a pass on them. It wasn't established yet. When Alexis graduated in 2017, she was disqualified because her mom was a runner. She's been going to college at Indiana University at Bloomington. On May 3rd, she's going to be receiving her master's degree in sociology. My Mariana, she's the reigning class salutatorian at Michigan City High School 2023. She's currently studying a pediatric nursing at Indiana University at South Bend. She wasn't a recipient of the Michigan City Promise Scholarship because she stayed with her mom out in Cool Spring Township. So if you're a student, regardless, if you graduate from Marquette, you should be able to receive the Michigan City Promise Scholarship. Thank you.
Any other comments, public comments?
Hi, Scott Mellon, Kenwood Place. Love our Promise Scholarship. I think it's a fantastic program that we offer. My only concern is we're approving a lot of third-party softwares, which is it for the training modules for the fire department and this Promise Scholarship software. My only concern is we never talk about the cost. And I'm not allowed to ask questions apparently in public comment, so I can't say how much it's going to cost. But I think that's an important factor in these things. I mean, it's good that the city is doing things in a more professional way, and maybe third-party software is the correct way to do that. But I think you can't make a reasonable decision without a cost benefit. Be nice to know what the cost of these things are. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anything online? Any other comments from the board? I'll close public comment.
Say, I have a comment.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
As a parent of a daughter who is a current recipient of the Promise Scholarship, I will just say that the application process thus far has been very tedious. It all goes through emails. There's a lot of back and forth. Have you received my scholarship application by the deadline? I am so relieved that this is going to be a thing of the past.
Ms.
I actually watched the video showcasing this software, and I think it will be that invaluable for you to implement.
So I think this is a much needed improvement for our Promise Scholarship.
I just like say that I think the comment on bringing up the cost is duly noted. I see no problem in us going forward and giving the costs out to the public so we're transparent.
Yeah.
Can I say something? So the more streamlined thing. So that QR code right there, you can scan it and it pulls up the agenda. And all of those links on there are all of these things that are on the agenda for you to see. And the proof of funding is on there to show the costs. So.
Motion approved.
Do you want me to give out the call? Okay, so the cost of this technology is $9,700, $9,700. So it's really, I think, from the standpoint of what we're getting and what we want to do for our students here, it's a very nominal amount of money. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. I just agree we should be transparent as far as
Absolutely.
the public goes.
A second.
Oh, go ahead.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Our next order of business is an agreement between the City of Michigan City and Redline Strategic Advisors, Inc. for human resources consulting services. Anyone here to speak about that? Yeah.
Good afternoon, Board. Tanisha George, Human Resources Director, City of Michigan City. Redline Strategic Advisors is a consulting firm that we have engaged to assist with just an overall review of our onboarding process. And what we hope to gain out of this particular contract is a streamline of all of the departments. We have multiple departments: police, fire, street, vector, sanitary district, and they all kind of do their own thing as far as the beginning training of different employees. So what this process will do is help us to streamline so that everyone is on board at the same way that works for the city. This is a consulting contract. It's not to exceed approximately $5,800, and it should end before November of this year.
It's actually October 15th it ends.
Okay, I wasn't real sure, that's why I said November.
Absolutely. Questions from the board?
How do you currently onboard?
What day of the week is it? No, it all depends on, it depends on the department. Like I said, every department has their own process. During our peak times of the year, we have up to 500 employees. In the summertime, with all of our part-time employees we bring on during the summer, that is between 100 and 150 employees. So basically, we get them into the system as best way as we can. We get them in, we get them processed. So what we're trying to do is to get them into the system, and then on top of that, we've also begun the aspects of training our seasonal hires. And we're offering them a similar training that we're offering the full time. So for example, we're looking at doing things like training them on different types of equipment, lawnmowers, saws. So we need to have a process in place so that when that happens, we can track who has had those trainings. We can assess how well they do in those trainings. So this process will help us do that as well.
Any other questions from the board? I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Anything online? Hearing no public comment, I'll close public comment. And any other comments from the board? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support. Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. All right, our next order of business is a memorandum of understanding between the City of Michigan City Redevelopment Commission and the City of Michigan City Vector Control for landscaping services to be performed by Vector Control. Thank you for being here today.
Well, as we've talked before, and just thinking that this would be a good adventure between the city and Brett Kelly.
Brett Kelly, yeah, Mr. Kelly, sorry, it's on my fault. Director Kelly, tell us a little bit about, and I'll fill in some gaps. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do for the redevelopment commission and things of that nature.
Well, we've already started. Correct?
Absolutely.
If you look at the You Are Beautiful properties and the properties at 7th and Franklin, we've already started that. What we're wanting to do, first of all, is keep the money in Michigan City. And you don't have to call anyone. You don't have to call a contractor. We can monitor these properties on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And to keep them up and looking good, because trash is my business.
Absolutely. So essentially what the redevelopment commission has agreed to is the redevelopment commission was formally providing contractual services to the tune of somewhere around $90,000 to $100,000 a year. What we have elected to do is to hire our vector services, basically enter into an agreement with Vector Control to mow and take care of all of our lots that we own. This gives us some streamlining. It also gives us some, like you said, control, meaning that during boat race weekend, we can make sure they're all mowed before. So our city looks good. This is for a contract for I think it's $65,000. $65,000, and it would also allow you to extend your seasonal workers, which actually benefits the city as a whole.
Actually brings on 2 more workers, and like you said, it's saving the city money, and then I actually put money back into the city coffers as far as my department. So I think it's a win-win.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Any comments from the board?
How many properties are you maintaining with this agreement?
Oh man, you would ask me that.
Yeah.
I want to say there's 8 properties at least.
I have it back at the office, but at least 8.
Yeah.
There's at least 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I have the guys go around on a day. The Myers property has been a big issue
15
for us, the city. So I have guys basically run around there every day to make sure that is picked up, because as we all know, that looked like a landfill. And so we've been on that, and other properties, we've been really cognizant about making sure that it's looking good.
And for the record, there are 15 properties.
There's
15 properties. But you do various things at each one of those properties. Most of it's mowing, trash pickup, etc.
Edging, little trimming of bushes if we need.
Any other questions of Mr. Kelly? I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment?
Hi, Scott Melantier in Kenwood Place. This sounds like an excellent example of intergovernmental cooperation. And since the redevelopment commission has a different budget than the Vector, it's actually bringing money into the city budget. So and it costs less. So that's a real win-win. So I encourage you to approve it. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Anything online? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. Any other comments from the board? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Our next order of business is a moving of art sculptures. Shannon Eason, Michigan City Public Art Committee, is requesting to move 2 art sculptures at the Michigan City Farmers Market.
Hi, Carol Ann Brown. I'm a member of the Michigan City Public Art Committee. We're requesting the moving of Tower of Winds and American Gothic. You should have a schematic there that shows where the 2 sculptures are now. They can't be seen very well. And as we go about assessing the sculptures that we do have in the city, and these are permanent sculptures, we are looking to make them more visible and inviting to the farmers market area. So the new locations are highly visible, as you can see, as opposed to the ones where they're shrouded in the trees. I'm not sure why we put them there to begin with. I think the trees weren't as overgrown at time, but American Gothic is really going to be a centerpiece of inviting people into the farmer's market. I mean, it looks like old farm equipment. So our request is to move that. And I'd like to do it before the farmer's market opens, which is May 1st.
Any questions of Ms. Brown?
Please accept my apologies, but I'm not exactly sure where the new locations are. I don't.
On the bottom of the page here.
Right, but where?
So there's a strip of land where you see where it says American Gothic. In the center of that strip, it's between the sidewalk and the parking lot. American Gothic would go there. And it's a 52 by 52 concrete pad. Otherwise, it's way in the back where you see the church steeple in the background. It's right, the old location is right behind the theater, stuck in the trees there. And then the Tower of Winds would be going over where the Jerry's, I can't remember his last name, Perry. That ran the farmer's market.
Oh, yeah,
for so long.
There's a plaque there.
Plaque there, yeah. And that bed, Tower of Winds would go there. And I think it's, there's writing along the side of this piece that's Tower of Winds. You can see it's really tall. And so it's much more visible, and I think it'll engage people more in that location.
And so all this is still on 8th Street, and it looks like you're just taking advantage of the planter strips in between.
Mm-hmm. Is everybody clear on where they're going, kind of, sort of?
Any other questions of the board? Okay, I'll open it up. Amber?
Who's moving them?
Yeah.
Well, one of the sculptors is volunteered to move his piece, which is American Gothic. These are all local sculptors here in Michigan City. So gentleman John Habella is going to move his, and then we hire a gentleman who's also has a sculpture at the farmer's market. His name is Richard Kebdai. He did the goats. And we use him a lot for installs and deinstalls and helping other sculptors when they come to town, because it's a rotating lease program for installs.
So the sculptures are still going to remain in the farmer's market. You're just changing their location
So that's
within that
more
area.
visible and more inviting.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment?
I don't get out much. Scott Mellon, 200 Campbell Place. The only question is she made mention that there's an existing plaque for a person. It sounded like one of these pieces would be going where that is. Is this interfering with that, or?
Not at all.
That was my only concern. That
In
we.
fact, I think it's gonna engage people more to look at the plaque.
Yeah, I think the plaque kind of gets lost a little bit. It's kind of not as
I just wouldn't want us
I don't
to
really read it. Yeah.
ignore one, overshadow one guy for these. That's all. Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, I'll close. Hearing none, I'll close public comment. Any more comments from the board? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Next order of business is a traffic control. Councilman Tim Beatry at 3211 Cleveland Ave is requesting to revise the stop signs at the following intersections: Tilden Ave and Cool Spring Ave, make it a one-way stop only on Tilden going south. And then Cleveland Ave and Cool Spring Ave make it a four-way stop. Mr. Beasley.
Jim Butree, 3211 Cleveland Ave. Hi, guys. I feel honored because I was here maybe 3 months ago and I was asked to resign from the Board of Works to join the city council. And after I left, they hired 3 people to replace me. So I must have been doing a good job. This is pretty straightforward. And I sent a map with it too, I think. When I was here as president of the Board of Works, I had a very brief conversation with Brian Wright about this, and but I never really expected him to do anything about it until I actually filled the paperwork out for you guys to look at. Ever since the Cleveland Ave extension from Cool Spring out to 400 North put in, the traffic has just been monumental along Cleveland Ave. And if you look at the extension of Cleveland Ave and Cool Spring, there are two stop signs there for Cleveland, nothing for Cool Spring. Cool Spring goes straight through, one more block west where you meet the T with Tilden. And that's a 3-way stop for Tilden Ave. And it doesn't make sense to me because all the traffic is on Cleveland and Cool Spring. When I left to come to this meeting, it was about maybe 10 to 4 or so. And traffic on Cleveland and Cool Spring had backed all the way up to Garrettson Street, over a block, just to get through there. So I'm suggesting that we just do a traffic study or whatever to look at those 2 intersections and maybe consider removing the stop signs for Cool Spring and Tilden and putting a 4-way in at Cleveland and Cool Spring.
I did speak to our city engineer about this today. He's already kind of took a look at this. Mr. Wright, Corporal Wright, did you have some? I think he's kind of relying on you to fill in.
So I spoke actually after former traffic commander Lineski saw this on the agenda. He contacted me and said that we have looked at this before over prior years, and each time it has been denied. I did some brief, basically since January 1st, 2019 to today, there have been 6 crashes at Cleveland and Cool Spring. Only 2 of those are due to an issue at that actual intersection, looking at them. That one was in May of 2020 when someone pulled out crossing Cool Spring on Cleveland, and then March of 2021, someone turned in front of a vehicle. And then there's only been 1 crash currently at Cool Spring and Tilden in the last 5 years. Captain Lineski had said that this was denied multiple times again. He said that now it's even better because the tree at Cool Spring and Cleveland on the southeast corner has been cut down. So that kind of opens up the view obstruction that was there prior. And then he also said that the last few times it was also denied due to school time being let out, especially with Joy Elementary and people traveling east and west on Cool Spring. He said basically if you put a stop sign at Cool Spring, or excuse me, Cool Spring, Cleveland, that would cause a issue with one if we leave it at Tilden. The concern I have with making Tilden just the single stop sign is the view obstruction that's there. If you are sitting at the stop sign on Tilden at Cool Spring, both east and westbound traffic have some view obstructions. And right now, with there being a stop sign there, I see the obstructions not being issued because you can see the cars at the stop sign. However, if we remove those stop signs, that'll change everybody's timing, looking at traffic, looking left or right and seeing traffic as those vehicles may be obstructed the time you look at them, and then by the time you pull out, then you have crash. With that, I can put up our traffic counter and see how many vehicles go through there during the day. However, I don't know if counting cars out there would really affect, the decision in this. So, I mean, honestly, with the amount of crashes we've had and, going back to how we've done all of our other meetings, looking at crash status and all that, I would say that at this point, I would probably stand by what the traffic division has done in the past and deny this at this point. However, it is up to the board, and if we want to do more work into it, I'll be happy to do whatever is necessary.
Questions for Mr. Wright or Mr. Beatry?
It seems like Mr. Beatrice's concern was more about traffic control, not necessarily car crashes, correct?
Right.
So I think, so it's just about the, how many cars. I think the if you put the counter out there, it might be, might give us a little bit more, I guess, information as far as confirming what you're saying as far as what the traffic is out there. Is it normally the pattern changed or stop signs moved or put in because of crashes more so than anything else?
Normally, we just, when someone requests a stop sign, that's one of the statistics we pull.
Okay.
As far as, trying to determine if an intersection is dangerous or not, and if it warrants potentially putting a stop sign up in that intersection to prevent crashes from happening.
Ms. Moran, I think you had a comment?
You said that there was obstruction, at Tilden, and could that be removed?
I would say it is on, if I recall correctly, I looked at it earlier today, it's on private property. So that would be up to the property owners to do something with that as opposed to the city doing something with that.
Okay. Any other comments?
What did the city engineer have to say?
So yeah, the city engineer was kind of relying on Corporal Wright's recommendation. So, but I do think there might be some other things to consider here. So let's, I'm sorry, the city engineer couldn't be here today. He had an appointment.
I do have his notes.
Could you?
Yeah, he did say that he has no opposition, if the police agrees. That's what it says on his notes.
Yeah. So it sounds like police and you guys aren't agreeing though. Makes it hard.
Well, can we take it to another, let's do the count? Can we do the count?
Absolutely. I think that's what we do. I think I would, yes. So let's have public comment, on this subject.
Do I get to speak again?
In a minute. Yeah, absolutely. Let's open it up for public comment.
This is why I came today. Scott Melantur and Kenwood. I'm very familiar with these intersections. As Tim said, I believe the traffic count is much heavier in Cleveland at this time, and traffic does back up there. My concern is that the absolute worst outcome would be adding more stop signs. I'm anti-sign in general. And as Corporal Wright said, on Tilden southbound, there is an obstruction. It's like a large bush and it is on the private property. But the traffic counts are clearly much higher in Cleveland. I think you get big backups there because people wait to turn, left. I think the traffic count is the right thing to do. And I'm pretty sure you'd find Cleveland probably has a 2-to-1, if not even a higher ratio of traffic than southbound Tilden. So it seems traffic study would be good. Extra signs bad. If we add a 4-way stop, because this is also a short block. These are less than maybe 200 feet apart. This is not a full city block. It's one of those staggered things.
Yeah.
So we don't need 2 stop signs in quick succession. But we would have to look at clearance on Tilden for the visibility. But Cleveland probably deserves the 4-way stop as much as I hate extra stop signs. There's a lot of traffic there and it does back up, especially during school hours when people are, dropping off kids and so forth. So it's worthy of more investigation. If Corporal Wright could also, a comparison of traffic between Tilden and Cleveland, that would give you a better basis of which intersection needs more control, probably. So thanks for your consideration.
Any other public comment, Mr. Beatry?
To Scott's comment, this wouldn't add any stop signs. It would take 2 away on Cool Spring and Tilden and add them to
Move them
it would
basically.
move them, yeah, not add more.
Right.
And I appreciate what Brian said. I was surprised that there was even one accident at Tilden and Cool Spring because everybody's stopping there.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me there are a few more at Cool, because that's why I'm here, really, at Cleveland and Cool Spring. But I like where you're going with this, doing the study, the traffic study, I think is a good idea, because you're right. I'm not here because of the stop sign issue or the traffic issue. I'm here because the traffic flow issue just doesn't make sense to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Any other public comment?
Yeah,
Comments?
I've experienced quite a few of those times on coming down Cleveland, trying to turn left onto Cleveland, coming down Cool Spring, going west, trying to turn left, going to Cleveland it gets backed up. I think it's the right thing to do. Let's do a count.
So it sounds like we want to put the counter out, Corporal, and get a better indication of how heavy the traffic is, if that would be okay to do, and then maybe table this for how long would it take to do the count?
I would ask that we do the second meeting in May. I can do that. Normally I put it in a spot for 2 weeks, but I can do like a week at each. So I'll do it on Cool Spring, then on Cleveland and Tilden also.
I think that would help.
That would give me.
I think that would help
to get each spot. Sure.
I think I'll give the board a little bit more information to make a decision.
Yep. And actually get both. Yep, it'll get them both.
Do I hear a motion to can I get a motion to, or I'll make the motion.
Motion to table until the 20th of May, second meeting in May.
Yep, and to put out the counter.
Pending a traffic study.
Okay. Here, second.
Supports.
I'll take the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Santizo?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Corporal Wright, and thank you, Mr. Beatry. Our next order of business is a sidewalk closure for Donald Zudima. I hope I didn't totally slaughter that. Midwest Pressure Washing and Restoring, Inc., doing business as Restore Works, is requesting a sidewalk closure at the corner of 9th Street and Franklin Street from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on April 17th through the 19th, and again on April 22nd through the 23rd for pressure washing a building at 902 Franklin Street. Are they here today to make a presentation to tell us a little bit about what you're doing? Thank you. Name and address.
Don wasn't able to attend, so Paul Elgus, 902 Franklin, representing Restore Works. We're in the process of pressure washing 902 Franklin, which is the old Oriental Pearl, before the weather turned. And then meeting with the other departments, we were advised that we needed a sidewalk closure permit. We were not aware when we began the first time. So the weather has changed and we're able to go back to work. So we've appropriately requested for sidewalk closure just to keep pedestrians, clear of the pressure washing and the equipment. And so just simple couple of barricades, some caution tape, and basically clean up every night and start up in the morning. Should take 3 days to finish pressure washing. And then there will be some masonry repair. There's some loose bricks on Franklin, actually, right next to 904, that need to be tuck pointed in and more cement put in. So it's basically to keep the public safe.
Okay. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, I'll open up for public comment. Any public comments? Corporal Wright, you looked at this and you okay with this? Okay. Any comments from public? Okay, hearing none, I'll close public comments. Any other comments from the board? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. One question about that. Will we be providing any barricades? You didn't request any barricades. Sorry. You're providing all the closure and barricades and things. Okay, thank you. Our next order of business is personnel. Tatanisha George, Director of HR, is requesting the extension of FMLA leave through May 3rd, 2024 for a Michigan City employee. Ms. George? Correct me if I thought it was the 5th we're talking about? Through May 5th? Or was I totally correct?
No, you're correct. It is May 5th. That was my mistake.
No, that's okay.
It is May 5th. It's Friday, May 5th.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. This person is currently on FMLA and is requesting an additional time, the additional medical leave. And I'm recommending that we extend the person's FMLA until Friday, May 5th, 2024.
Board, if you do give the permission to extend this, you need to make it retro to March 26th, 2024 to May 5th.
March 26th.
Yes, that's when the first extension ended. This would be an extension of that. I'm sorry, that's when the first FMLA ended. This would be an extension of that.
What was that, March the 6th, you say?
26th.
26th.
Anyone want to take a stab at an motion?
Motion to approve. Oh, we'll get a public comment.
Oh, sorry. Let's do public comment. Sorry about that. I'll open up for public comment.
Although it's
Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, I'll close public comment. I'll entertain a motion.
motion to approve.
Make it a retro.
Retroactive to
March 20th.
March 27th through,
27th through May the,
I'm sorry,
what's
26.
26th.
March 26th through May the 5th.
Here a second.
Support.
Call the roll. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Ms. George. The next order of business is permission for use of property for parking. Sam Strupek Shoreline Brewery is requesting to use the You Are Beautiful Sola grass lot for parking during their event on May 5th, 2024 from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. I don't know if anyone here, is there anyone online for them? Anyone in public here? Okay. Was there anything? I know I asked you about it earlier. I
That's
don't know.
okay. So President York, I know that the redevelopment commission recently gave approval because they actually own that land. And they gave permission at their, I believe, April 9th meeting. Is that correct? 8th meeting. So that we just asked for ratification of it with this board. But at what point are we gonna stop using that lot? At what point, because of the development that's occurring?
Oh, yeah, I would assume probably in the very near, hopefully near future. We at some point in time, we're gonna have to stop giving approval to use the lot because there'll be a fence up around it, essentially. Is that what you're asking me?
That's it. So
Okay.
on May 5th, they're still okay.
Yeah. I think May 5th
Okay.
will be fine. I'm just thinking August, September, like hopefully we will have a fence up around it and will not have space to approve.
So like boat races and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't plan on using that site, right?
As of right now, yes. So we need to, you're right, we need to be conscientious about our other parking needs there for the future.
Skylar,
Yeah,
do you know if they're charging for parking over there or they're just
No, they're
parking
not.
at Patron?
Just park. Any other?
Yeah, my only question was, had they consulted with the redevelopment, being that it was their property?
Yeah, yes, they provided permission. Redevelopment Commission provided the permission. Yes. Yeah, this would be the second approval. Any other? I don't really know much about I think it's a wrestling event for Cinco de Mayo. Just so everybody knows. So essentially what's happening is what was explained to us is they're setting up the event in their parking lot. Therefore, they won't have use of their parking lot and they would need to find alternative parking for that night for those matter of hours from 12 to 6. Any other questions of the board? From the board? All right, hearing none, I'll open up for public comment.
Yeah, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. Why don't you just let them use the north lot of the Lighthouse Mall? That's where I always park when I go see the fireworks. And there's, the shelves are going to be hitting the ground next door very soon. And I know another alternate site we can use for these type of events, like when Mr. Calvin has his a sound event. That we now have the 3 acres north of the administration building on Carroll Avenue. That'd be a great alternate site for these events. So because there's going to be a point where we're going to have to cut off use of your beautiful site. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Hi, Scott Montour in Kenwood Place. I would have you vote in support of this. Shoreline's been a great neighbor, great addition to Michigan City. They've put a lot of money in, and this is probably going to be the last time they get to use it. We'll have to let them know that next year they'll have to make other arrangements like Tommy suggests. But for this year, let's Viva Cinco de Mayo.
Absolutely. Thank you for your comments. Any other comments online? Any other board? I'll close public comments. Any board comments?
Motion to approve.
Here, do I hear a second?
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Our next order of business is a request for a special event and road closure. Eric Camel, Director of St. Joseph Young Men's Society, is requesting the following. To host their annual summer festival, June 28th through the 30th of 2024, Friday, 6/28/24, 3 p.m. to 12 p.m., Saturday, 6/29/24, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., and Sunday, 6/20/24, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. So then, and they are also requesting a street closure on Tillotson Street and a sidewalk closure on Franklin for their annual summer festival. Is there anyone here to speak to this event? Hearing, okay, I guess we won't. Corporal Wright, have you reviewed this event? I think it's very similar to others we've had. Any board comments?
Is this the same as previous years?
I think it's the same as, I don't think it's changed layout wise. I think it's the same closures and same time frames.
Motion to approve.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was an annual.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's an annual.
It's annual. Let's move on. Yeah.
Hold the vote. Not yet. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay. Hold that comment. I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Hearing none, I'm going to close public comment. Now you go.
Motion to approve.
Do we hear a second? Support. Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Miss Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Our next order of business is a suspension of mobile vendor license. Mayor Angie Nelson Deitch issued an ex parte order suspending the mobile food vendor license of Taco My Friend, license number 25015. I do believe we have Ms. Vanderborg here representing code enforcement, which provided the notice. And then I do see the owner as well here. How would you like for me to handle this?
I'll be happy to set the record, Mr. President.
I'm gonna hand it over to Attorney LePage and Attorney Beal.
Mr. Tapias, you're welcome to come down. I'm just gonna set the record. So again, today is April 15th. We're here to conduct a hearing as to whether or not Taco My Friend's mobile food vendor license number 25015, issued by the city on or about February 5th, 2024 for the duration of 1 year, should be suspended. For the record, on April 1st of 2024, pursuant to Michigan City Municipal Code 26-44B as in boy, the mayor issued an ex parte order suspending Taco My Friend's mobile food vendor license pending the hearing today. So present on behalf of Tacos My Friend, Mr. Tapias, that Jesus Tapias, correct? Okay. And also Christina Vanderberg, for the Michigan City Planning Department, and Attorney Beal is assisting. Anybody else who's going to be present to testify today? Mr. Tapias? No? Just you? Okay. So the hearing procedure today, the city is the petitioner. So Ms. Vanderberg will be allowed to go first. Thereafter, Mr. Tapias, you'd be allowed to present any additional evidence or testimony that you would like to on your behalf. I'd like each party just to clearly identify their names for the record, no talking over any parties. And after a witness is done testifying, the other may cross-examine. After all evidence is presented, the board parties may present final statements. So this board is vested with the authority of either suspending or not suspending Tacos My Friend's mobile food vendor license. This board may render a decision immediately here today or table it and take it under advisement to render a decision at a future meeting. The board's decision will be reduced to writing. So all parties that will be present to testify, can you please raise your right hand? Mr. Tapias, are you never said? Do you solemnly swear in the pains and penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay. And Ms. Vanderberg?
Christine Vanderberg, City, Michigan City Inspection Department.
Ryan, do you want to assist?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Christine, so you just state your full name.
You gotta turn it.
There it goes.
All right. Christine, you work for the Michigan City Planning Department, is that correct?
That's correct.
What is your position with the Planning Department?
Code Enforcement Officer.
Okay. Did you have occasion back on March 27th of 2023 to be at 1806 Franklin Street here in Michigan City?
Yes.
And what brought your attention to that property?
A contractor working without permits.
Okay. And did you go inside the property to inspect what was going on?
I did.
Okay. And what did you find?
We found the contractor doing electrical at the property with no permits. When I did walk in the door, I did find a station of food to my right as I walked through the door, tomatoes, other stuff for food prep area, along with like a cutting board, and then miscellaneous food, miscellaneous kitchen wares. Basically a garage, an unkept garage area and a construction area.
Okay. Were any refrigerators, freezers inside?
There are multiple refrigerators and freezers.
Were they all working?
No, a couple of them were not working.
And what was the smell you encountered when you entered the premises?
It was either a rancid food smell or a dead mouse, a rodent, or there was also a not a covered up pipe for a sewer.
Okay. So there's some type of food prep going on in this building, is that correct?
Correct.
An unfinished building, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And how do you know that Taco My Friend was doing food prep at this building?
Number one, the truck was parked out front and it was plugged into the building itself inside. Number two, there was personal information left mail next to the food and the prep area itself, along with materials and stuff that they use to cook.
Okay. And so Taco My Friend had been issued a mobile food vendor license by the board back on February 5th, 2024. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And they were granted permission to then operate that food truck at 621 Franklin Street in Michigan City. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Did you take pictures of your findings that day?
I did.
Okay. And did you bring those with you?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Would you just enter that as an exhibit?
Okay. No, we show this entered as then the Michigan City Planning Department's Exhibit A.
A.
Ms. Vanderborg, those pictures accurately depict the conditions of the premises that day and the activities that were going on.
Correct.
And again, the food that we see in these pictures, the food preparation that's going on, were all being performed by Taco My Friend.
Correct. The agent for the business or the owner of the operation was not there at the time.
Okay.
Like I said, the vehicle insurance paperwork, the photo documentation as far as the insurance paperwork with his name and address next to the area.
And under the Michigan City ordinance, a mobile food vendor is defined as basically a self-contained food operation wherein the preparation of the food takes place within a motorized vehicle that's licensed to do so. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So clearly, one, this food prep was going on outside of the vehicle.
Correct.
And secondly, and I guess most importantly, the preparation of the food was being done in an unsanitary manner and condition. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you made a report upon this, correct?
Correct.
And provided it to the mayor?
I did.
And based upon your findings that you provided to the mayor, she issued an order, an ex parte order, immediately suspending the food vendor license for Mr. Tapia and Taco My Friend. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And are you asking then that the board today permanently suspend or revoke the mobile food vendor license for Taco My Friend?
That's correct.
And pursuant to the ordinance, that's based upon one, the food preparation outside of the motorized vehicle. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Preparation and constituting basically a health and safety menace to the general public based upon the condition that you found the food prep going on.
Correct.
And have you had a chance to speak to the county health department?
I have.
Okay. Have they had similar or problems with Mr. Tapia in the past in regards to violations of licenses and permits?
They have.
In fact, on occasion operating within the city of LaPorte and county without any type of permit being issued?
That's correct.
Okay. So your recommendation is that his mobile food vendor license be revoked?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Bill.
You're welcome.
Does the board have any questions of this? Mr. Jesus, do you have any questions?
Okay.
And this is just questions of what she testified to.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any questions of her?
No.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay, there.
Not yet. I just have a question for Ms. Vanderberg. Ms. Vanderberg, when you walked into the area, it was back on March 27th of 2024, correct? That's when you inspected it. Not only do the pictures that you took, were there any mice feces around?
There was mice feces around like the garage door area along the wall area, because the garage doors doesn't close all the way down, so there's a gap. It doesn't take much for a mouse to get in, but it's an actual garage itself. There was also a lawnmower, lawn equipment, chemicals in the building. So there were multiple things that food shouldn't be prepped around.
Was there a stench?
Yes.
And what was that stench smell like?
Combination of dead mice, rotting food, and sewer gas.
And you also testified the refrigerator and freezer were not working properly?
Correct.
How do you know that?
When you opened the freezer, the one refrigerator, it was just regular food, not frozen inside of it, and the health inspector also took a look at it as well.
Did you call the health department on that day to come inspect on March 27th?
Yes.
And did they come inspect?
Yes.
Did they in fact suspend his license with the county on that day?
They placed a orange sticker on his food truck. They suspended his service. Yes. It was until, I'm not sure what the circumstances were, but it was a stop order, basically a stop serving food.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Do my questions prompt any additional questions of the board?
I don't have any questions right at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Tapias?
Okay, the first thing I want to say, I'm so sorry what happened. I have about 11 years with my business, and I never had any kind of complaints with the whole department. My last inspection is in maybe a month and a half, and the whole department is very happy because inspection that all the trucks, they say is nice, clean, everything. The temperatures is good, everything is be fine. What happened in this location is because in April last year, is rent this building, but it's rent because it's gonna supposed to be put restaurant in there. So the city is gonna inspections. The city they told me you need to go to the state and you need to ask for the permit because this building is not for restaurant. So I need to put all the new like kitchen, bathrooms, and everything. So the company put the hood, is put application, but in the state is not respond anything. Is pay almost $3,000, is never respond. I know there's no excuse for that happen, right? So this building, the first thing is nothing cooked in there, because my food truck I have a stove, and only thing to make in the truck is rice and beans. All the meat is prepared in a food truck. The couple things that's in a building is only couple tomatoes and I think the limes in a table. The refrigerators is not used because I have 2 refrigerators in the food truck. The refrigerator is empty except and the one on the top and the frozen. I have like a couple bottles of salsas. The salsa sometimes no need refrigerators, but this like the bottles is empty. The other things we have in the building is the freezer. I have a couple bags like corn, french fries, but it's working good. So I don't know what I need to do, but now always I have all the things in a food truck, but it's never cooked in the building because all my food is prepared in a food truck. So this only use of the building is only for parking in a food truck in there, and sometimes my food truck is small, so I don't have a space for puts my all the emergency, you know. So then now to want to do is buy my all the ingredients and like for a pound or something, because all my stuff is come from Chicago and is buy for cases, you know. So, and I don't know, so I gotta say again, I have the 11 years with my business. I want to open a restaurant, but I can find any location empty here because a lot of people follow me. All the people in Michigan City is happy because my food is great. It's authentic Mexican food. Somebody told me a couple days ago, it's a new customer in La Porte, say, hey, you know what? I see your name, Tacos My Friend, and I see it in Google. The Tacos My Friend is a top 10 in all Indiana and the best Mexican food, you know? So I don't know what to do. It's work too hard for finding any location for open my restaurant here because I have a lot of customers here in Michigan City. But in 11 years we have with my business, never I had the big complaints when somebody's sick or something like that.
Attorney Bill, do you have any questions?
So, Mr. Tapia, what kind of food preparation were you doing at 1806 Franklin Street?
Obviously nothing. Just just only think the find the whole department in Edison like the pen with the beans. But this that happen is because my helper is confused. I need to have, hey, these beans I need you bring to La Porte because I got other taco truck in La Porte. So I cooking the beans and rice and second truck here in Michigan City because another food truck in La Porte I don't have stuff. Only here in second one. So but he's confused. He's leave the beans in the building is not bringing in La Porte. But it's not. I think that this building is the stuff is not working. I think the gas is not working anyway. So nothing prepared in the food truck. Sometimes my customers say, "Hey, what can the meat you use because it's really good." Sometimes my customers say, "You know what? You want to see what food make?" Sometimes my customers come inside the truck and look at my meats, really fresh and everything, but nothing prepared in this building.
There was nothing being prepared.
Nothing because
We could take a look at what's part of the city's Exhibit A. What's going on then with the tomatoes, limes?
The one that said again is because
You can leave the microphone.
well, this because I said again, sometimes you have a lot of span refreshing the food truck. So when I have something extra, just put in a building.
Would you agree this building was not sanitary?
What do you mean?
It wasn't safe to keep food inside this building under its current conditions. This food was meant for the general public, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. Would you agree that it wasn't safe to keep it there or prepare or do anything with it inside this building?
No, nothing. No, so this is only what's is in my truck and it's like the wash and a food truck.
Do you have a website? Do you have a website that people can purchase your order food on?
That's just regular for a phone, for if people order in a phone.
Okay. If I told you I went on a website today that still advertised Taco My Friend here in Michigan City, and I could still place an order today with a location at 621 Franklin Street, even though the mayor issued you a suspension of your license 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Is your website still operational?
No, just usually people order for the phone. Yeah. Or DoorDash.
No further questions. Does the board have any questions of Mr. Tapias? Ms. Moore, go ahead.
So you say you get cases of food that come in, right? Because you need, when you order, you get cases of food. Where do you store your food normally?
Yeah. Other thing that this is gonna remember last meeting I told you guys I need is no move my food truck for the 621. because I need my refrigerators on, and for the weather, my pipes is broke. So I need to fix it real quick because this is frozen. So this is my thing is not move the food truck, but the 621, but all the time is need connection with the electricity. So my deal is, if you give me license back, talk to with the owner, and I don't know, maybe make a little like building in there for just put like couple refrigerators and put my stuff in there.
I don't know if your question got answered. Did it?
No, it's not. I don't know where you're still storing the food right now. Are you storing it in this building?
No,
No.
because this same day, he want to talk to the health department. So I put all the trash, so let's put a bleach and everything to make sure it's not used anymore. So now the building now is empty. I talked to with the owner because all the helper we have before last year, he's not told me nothing, and he's signed the contract for 3 years. So in April it's up on it's a 1 year, but the state is not say anything.
Any other questions?
Just one more. I know
Go ahead,
I still
Ms.
don't,
You didn't answer.
I still don't know where your food is being stored, but that's okay. And question, if I called the number right now and ordered food, you would be able to give me an order? Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though you're not supposed to be operating, is that correct?
Yeah. No, not right now. Yeah. So I gonna talk to the health department like last week, and I told because the health department say in 15 days you received something for your mail. So make sure check it out your mail. So I received this paperwork, and I'll be back with the health department, and I say, hey, what's going on with my permit? Say, you know what? With the health department, it's okay, but make sure you permit this for you prepare all the it's in a food truck only, nothing in it. It's not about any buildings at your house, nothing, just only in a food truck. So you need a way outside the city, but you permit with the health department, it's okay, but make sure nothing prepared, nothing, just only in a food truck.
I have one more question, I think. So like on these pictures, you've got tomatoes and limes.
Okay.
You said you were not preparing them there.
No.
Where do you store them normally? I'm sure you have more
In
tomatoes
the
than
food
what this.
truck, and the refrigerators, and a food truck. Yeah, but I got two refrigerators and a food truck. Yeah, so all put in there, but sometimes it's too much. So I need this is what is leave sometimes in the building, but it's not always.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
Yes, you say you're not preparing food in this building, but there's very clearly a cutting board that looks like it's been used and a knife near where the tomatoes, there's a slicer. So you're still.
This is all this because this talk to with the health department. I have a lot of things for the restaurant, like a lot of pens and all the stuff, but I can use anymore because the thing is I don't have my food truck is not really big for put all the stuff in there.
But this cutting board is dirty. Like it
maybe one time, you know what? The jalapenos, yes, just only maybe it's carbonated the jalapenos, but it's not like something it's like prepared with because the one is cut and put in vinegar and put salt and some condiments, and that's it. But they just only this, you're right, just only prepare the jalapenos. But it's not
So then you're saying you were preparing food, the jalapenos? and
Yes,
that-
only jalapenos. Yeah.
Any other questions from the board?
I do not have any questions.
Any final statements? You would like to make it, go ahead.
Christine, I'll leave it to you. You're the one that.
So the bottom line is, we have a license that we issue licenses on certain merits for food trucks and such. And you're actually in violation of the most important is not being a menace to health, safety, or general welfare of the public. My position is not to just put you out of business because I don't like the business or anything. It's because of the safety and health risk and issue. You're preparing food in a garage setting. You're storing food in a garage setting. So that's why I'm suggesting that your license does not get renewed by the board.
Any final statements, Mr. Tapias?
I'm sorry?
Any final statements?
Sometimes understand, so like,
Closing, do you have a closing, any final statement you want to tell this board? If not, that's okay too.
okay. So this is not accumulation back?
If you don't have any final statements, then that's fine. Is there any statement you'd like to make to this board?
Anything further you want us to tell us? I mean, anything that you want us to know or tell us? Anything more?
I'm sorry, I don't understand
No, you're-
exactly what he said. Sorry, my English is not really perfect, but I know how to talk sometimes, but sometimes I don't understand, so.
Did you say everything to the board that you wanted to say today?
No, yes, they be fine, so just let me know what you want to do for fixing the problem. But I promise this, my food is like fast food. This is totally the whole department. So what do you think I have a stove and a food truck and a flat top? Because if all the food is prepared in another place, so why do you have the flat top like a stove?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I understand what this only this thing like cut jalapenos and etc. But it's not something like bear because the jalapenos is cooking with the vinegar, But
Thank you. Mr. President, I turn the hearing back over to you.
Okay. I guess any other comments from the board? Do I need to still have public comment, I assume?
No, administrative hearing.
Okay. Any, Mr. Simmons, do you have any comments?
Yes, after reading and looking at the exhibit, I think and feel that we're putting the public health at risk. And it would be incumbent on us to suspend his food vendor's license going forward. I, in good conscience, cannot say it's okay because it isn't.
Yeah.
And again, we're putting the public health at risk. So I would like to make a motion to suspend his food vendor's license.
Support.
Hearing a second, I will entertain a vote. I'll call the roll. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Miss Antisdo?
Aye.
Miss Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. The question that Ms. Smith asked me was your recommendation, so the license is suspended, but what about the permanent? Is there a permanent closure of the building is not, they haven't pulled permits for the building. Okay.
Christine, can you go to the microphone?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, we'll get to the.
Sorry about that.
Keep,
There is an electrical permit at the property right now currently. There are no other permits, no plans, no CDRs.
okay.
We've reached out to the owner and no contact.
So essentially what we just need to do is just make sure that nothing's happening there until permits are pulled, CDRs received, etc. The normal permitting process, that sounds like. Okay, you answered my question. Ms. Smith, did that get your question? Thank you, Chris. I think we're done. Yeah.
We're done with that issue.
Mr. Tapas. Yep. No mas.
Thank you.
Thank you. I told, yeah. We'll have to. Our next order of business is approval of a payroll docket for April 5th, 2024. City payroll, police and fire payroll pensions. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Hear a second?
Support.
Motion and support. I'll call for the roll. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Our next order of business is our claims docket for April 15th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Support. Motion and support. I'll call for the roll. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Motion approved. Moving on to our unfinished business pending items. We have our tabled from November 7th, 2023. We have a street enhancement for Daniel Radke at 508 East 2nd Street is requesting to install a curb gutter and possibly a sidewalk to the east side of Taylor Street at 216 Taylor. So let me clarify that a little bit more. This is we repaved we repaved 2nd Street. When this was repaved, the curvature of the road is basically causing a flooding issue. I have talked to Mr. Steve Stanford today, who has been dealing with this, and John Gorshika. They have a proposal that they have, I guess, engineered for lack of other terms, but they are trying to find a way to fund it at this point in time. So I don't know if there's anything to approve at this point in time. Unless you heard anything else. Okay. Any comments from the board?
I mean, I think if we're waiting for funding, it's kind of difficult to.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah.
But if it's necessary, I feel like we should find funding.
I think that our city engineer has been working with Steve. I know that he's been working with Steve on a solution for this. So I would ask that we probably just keep this on the tabled pending items list, but I will open it up for public comment on this item. Any public comment? Anything online? Okay, hearing none, I'm close public comment. Can I do I need a motion to table it again?
No, you could just keep it on.
Just keep it on pending. Let's give it maybe second meeting in May. Does that seem reasonable? That way I can talk to Tim about it. Yeah. Our next order of business is a request for special event and road closures. Zorn Brew Works are requesting the following tabled from March 18th, 2024 to host the Mac and Cheese Festival on September 29th, 2024, and road closure for the festival on 9th Street between Michigan Boulevard and York Street, on York Street between 8th and 10th Street. And I do believe they needed an insurance, something doing with their insurance.
Yeah, so we're waiting on their COI. Actually, they had sent that over this afternoon. I need to get that sent over and looked at again. They weren't able to make it to this meeting. So they asked to table it until the next meeting again, so that they can be present.
Okay, I should still open it up for public comment, correct? I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Okay, hearing none, I'll close it. So we'll keep this on the pending item list. Okay. How long did you say?
Just till the next meeting.
Okay.
Nobody was able to be here today because of, I think, a family emergency or something.
Okay. Okay. Most certainly. Yes, Ms. Smith, Ms. Moore, go ahead.
Could I just get some clarification on their street closure request? Because the verbiage that you read doesn't seem to match the diagram that they provided. And I just want to make sure that, especially after the public comments last time, that we are clear on what the street closures actually are.
So will they be at our next, they're going to plan to be at our next meeting, correct? So,
Yeah, they will be here next meeting, so they can come and they can explain all of that.
absolutely. We'll get them to explain. That's a great question. That's a great question. Rather than me trying to understand, let's have them, straight from their mouth to hear what they have to say. Does that work, Ms. Moore? Okay. Okay, our next order of business is to review, add, repair refuse containers. Councilman Don Prespolinski at 215 Gardena Street is requesting the following. This was tabled from March 18th, 2024. To have the city review the refuse containers from 11th Street to Cool Spring Ave and make all containers uniform by repainting all containers. To have refuse containers be added to bus stop in front of Walgreens, bus stop at Homer Street and Franklin Street, corner of Franklin and Homer Street, kitty corner to Albanos. And to have refuse containers be repaired at corner of Warren Road and Franklin. I think that Warren Road is not right. Corner of Pine and Ripley, and corner of 7th and Washington Street by Barker Mansion. I do see Mr. Smith out here, our street director. If you could just give us an update, and I think I have some update as well.
Sean Smith, Street Director, City of Michigan City. All required maintenance, the painting is completed with the refuse containers. All the refuse containers have been repaired except for Warren. It's actually Warren Ave at Franklin. I'm waiting on response from the planning department as far as ordering one so we can install it.
Absolutely. I'll jump in on that note. So we have our list. We do have all these inventoried. We need to update our inventory. We were hoping to wait for our as part of the planning department and the city engineering department will be doing an inventory of assets, and then we have put some prices together for these containers. We'll say they're not cheap, but we're looking at getting some prices so that they can all be uniform down Franklin Street, and then hopefully move. Right now, we're just kind of assessing where we're going to move things. How many more new ones do we need? Things of that nature. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I will, as soon as we get our intern, this is one of the projects I'm going to put them on and to inventory. I do believe we have about 100 of these out. So there's not little of them. There are quite a few. And then I do think we had a couple of extras from what Jim, I don't know if you checked on that, Jim Michaels. Okay. We may have a couple of extras out there, but it doesn't fix the need that we have more of, that we order new ones. Any questions on that? I know that was all over the place. Sorry. We're just beginning the process of inventorying.
Yeah, I would like to make sure we have some extras.
Absolutely. Yes.
So we don't have to, so we stay uniform.
Correct. That's kind of my goal, is to get maybe like 1 or 2 different ones where we don't have 4 or 5 different ones. That way we can order more of the ones 1 and 2 and stock them. And we do have a place to keep them. And if they get hit by a car or something like that, we have the opportunity to go out and fix them. Sylvia in my department is working with this project right now, and she will be reaching out to Mr. Carter as well to make sure that we're getting the correct ones so that refuse can change them in and out. Any other questions of Mr. Smith? Board, I do appreciate you going out and doing that. Thank you.
Mr. President, do we need to keep this on the pending list?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to keep it on there. I don't know that we'll have an answer by May. I think we would need to keep this on there probably.
We're gonna revisit in June.
Yeah, that would give us time to get our hopefully an intern. I heard we're getting one in May. So this is one of the projects we'll be inventorying.
So for the Madam Clerk, what date should we put to review it by?
First week in June. First Board of Works meeting in June. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, June 3rd.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have to wait till public comment. Yeah. Yeah. You can. Or is it? Do we need public comment on this?
On the trash cans?
Yeah, we're
It's
just.
up to you.
Yeah, we're.
Public comment on the trash can.
Is it about the trash cans issue?
No.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold your comment. Just making sure. Okay, our next issue, I'll open up for public comment on this trash can issue. Any public comments? Okay, I'll close public comments. We're just going to table it till the first Board of Works meeting in June. The next order of business is a request to submit work request. Councilman Don Prespolinski is requesting to submit work request to CSX Railroad crossings for repairs at Woodland, Risky, Carroll, and Greenwood Ave. I did talk to Mr. Tim Warner. This was tabled from April 17, 2023. I did talk to Mr. Tim Warner this afternoon. He has been in contact with CSX as well as Amtrak, and they are going to be repairing some of the railroad crossings this summer. But I'm not sure exactly which ones will be repaired at this time. We'll have to wait for Tim to get here.
We would prefer all of them.
Absolutely. I would like all of them done. They probably all could be used. I think what they're doing is putting in the concrete over the concrete passing where we won't have the concrete in between, where we won't have asphalt in between, which is a much better way to do it. Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public? Hearing none, I'll close comments. Our next order of business is a sidewalk enhancement. Bob Kaiser, 37418 Dorchester Drive, is requesting to repair the sidewalk on the south side of Franklin and 8th Street. This was tabled from the 7th of November, 2023.
Yes.
The floor is yours. Introduce yourself, name and
First of all, this is incorrect. I live on Dorchester Road, not Drive.
Got it.
And second of all, it's the south side of 8th Street between Franklin and Pine.
Okay.
Okay. And, we've requested this a couple of times and nothing has been done. I assume that one excuse before was that we needed a city engineer or you need to rehire one. And we waited and waited and waited and nothing's ever happened.
Would this happen to be the chunk of sidewalk that's sunk there?
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, we went out and looked at it today, and
people stumble across there, and when you have activities going on downtown, there's a lot of people walking on 8th Street there.
Yep, we were down there today. We just for the board and for you as well. We were down there today. We did inventory it, and our city engineer will be putting it on our list for repair.
Appreciate
just so you know. Yep.
Thank
and I don't know that we can keep it on there until it's repaired, but we inventoried it today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Should we keep this on there until it's repaired?
It's up to you, Mr. President.
Let's keep it on there till it gets repaired for right now. Any public comment on this item?
No, there's a spider.
Oh, okay. I will open hearing none. So we want to keep this on until June. Yeah, let's just keep it on until June.
First or second meeting.
Let's just say second meeting.
Second meeting?
Yeah, that'll give some time to give Tim some time to. He's got a lot on his plate right now.
Yeah.
But we did talk about this today and finding funding for it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna open the floor up for public comment in general. We lost talk on my friend. Okay.
Yeah, Tommy Kolavic, 1316 Ohio Street. For what it's worth, I've ordered DoorDash from Mr. Tacos, my friends, many times, and his cuisine is excellent. It has his pork mega burrito, it has his enchiladas, tamales. Very, very good food. He's a very excellent cook. But, you know, the whole business model using 621 Franklin is like a 365-day food truck. Other than that's just a poor business model where they have to remove the truck. It's a health hazard and a fire hazard. You know, previous that was Braylon Hervey used to have for his Salsa Q barbecue. We all know his food truck burned down last year. So we're gonna have somebody else come out wanting to do that again. Pretty much guaranteed. We just need to use that for special events. I want to express some concerns I have. It's been reported on social media that all the stoplights along Franklin Street, you see, like, especially they said at Carwick and 12, you have to sit there and the light don't change, and people are going, and then they're being pulled over and given a citation. You know, it's the same thing when you turn left coming out of Blue Chip onto 12. You know, that needs to be looked into. Another thing I see on social media, mostly on the west side, we all know the west side's a food desert. A lot of people are making their barbecue at home, and they're posting on Facebook that they're selling plates out of their house. We can't allow that. It's really sickening when you drive by along the NIPSCO plant. You know, the rail cars, they're just riddled with gang graffiti. There's the South Shore Freight and their union, they need to be cited and fined. We do have a graffiti ordinance. I remember when that one, Mayor Robley pushed for that. I believe Mayor Angie voted for that during her first tenure on the council. That needs to go. They need to paint over all that. Thank you.
Hi, Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. I know the board takes their job seriously when it came to the food safety. I want to speak about, even if you don't have to have public comment, I would offer that you still can offer it. I think there was a big miscommunication problem right there. I don't think he understands that he's been shut down, for example. I've got Google Translate. I wanted to step up so I could ask him your questions. The word for storeroom is nothing like storeroom, for example. I don't know Spanish, but I can type. I also wish we could have done something between let him continue or shut him down. If there could have been a probationary period to allow him to correct, that's pretty typical in food service, that they get a warning and a chance to correct. I don't know if you can revisit this. Clearly, code enforcement's report was quite damning. I can see that. At the same time, he has an 11-year record. He has 2 food trucks. The websites the attorney was reviewing are third-party websites. They're not his websites. I looked them up while I was here. It was DoorDash, it was GitHub. And he also has a LaPorte location that is still open and active. And again, with the communication problems, I don't think he was fairly able to defend himself. I know, again, you're taking your job seriously. Food safety is important. But I almost feel this was a little bit of a miscarriage, given the lack of communication and lack of ability to correct the situation. And, we're shutting down, an entrepreneur who clearly has been working for 11 years, has multiple locations. Does the county have a record of people getting sick. You know, you can make an argument that those unsanitary conditions are just more authentic. I mean, but to jest, but I really wanted to step up and hit Google Translate for him so he could understand the questions. So again, I know you're taking your job seriously and it is important, but he is a local person. He has good reviews. And if there's a way we can, and he's been in front of the board many times. I know he's trying to comply. Also in February, it was a lot colder. Again, not excuse, he's got to follow the rules for a food truck. But I think there's, again, the miscommunication, and I wish there was a way we could not just shut him down. And I've never eaten there, so I don't have a dog in the fight other than, supporting local business, I guess. So again, thank you. And I know you mean well. And I could see that you weren't all happy with your vote. It was almost like you didn't have a choice. But if there's a way we could revisit that and give him the ability to correct, I and maybe the citizens of Michigan City would appreciate it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, board. Royce Williams, LaPorte County resident, also with the Bulls movie project. Want to give you a little update. We're in the second week of filming and everything is going fantastic. The first week we were at Harmony Bar, transformed that into what Dan wanted to see in the movie, and we're currently at the Uptown Social, which we just had the Cross Border Darts Challenge Championship Friday and Saturday night. The CDC was helping us out, and that ended up bringing one of their big tournaments here to Michigan City, which appears it's going to be an annual event. So that's bringing some business in town, and it was a great event. So we're still there until about Thursday, and everything's going well, except there's a little oversight. As Mr. President, there's one final request we had, that was to light up some trees in the Arts District for the one night shoot we have. It'll be April 23rd when we're there 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And it'll be between the 400 and 700 block of Franklin Street. Dan looked at it. It's only the small trees, so it's going to affect maybe 5 to 7. And I was told to correspond with the forester, which I had. Mr. Wolf, is he here? There he is. How you doing, sir? And he said he didn't have a problem with it, but it would have to be a company that's bonded and insured to put the lights on and take them off. So I reached out to Knowles and Sons Tree Service this morning, and Go Happen, their daughter happens to be one of our extras, and they said they would absolutely love to come down and do that. So they're probably going to meet me tomorrow to point out those 5 trees and get that done. We would request that we use the electric service that's at the base of the tree if it works. If it doesn't, we do have small generators that would work there as well. And as far as the tree lighting, I would ask Mr. Wolf if he has any preference what kind of Christmas tree lights we should put up there.
Thank you. Board comments?
So the only cost to the city is the trees or the trees and the electric?
Oh, no, the trees are already up. We're
Yes,
just putting
I know.
Christmas tree lights, and it would just be plugging them
So
in.
other than that, no cost to
No cost, no, ma'am.
Other comments from the board? Mr. Wolf, could I ask you some comments? Mr. Wolf, you've reviewed everything. You're good with this?
Yes, I did. And Mike Wolf, City Forester. I don't know if that's appropriate.
Thank you.
I did. I spoke with Mr. William on the phone, and we discussed putting up Christmas lights on 5 to 7 trees.
Okay.
And that was my recommendation, that as far as that goes, I have no problem with them putting lights on. I just want to make sure that the trees and public safety, while they're being installed, all taken care of. And that he hire
licensed contractor to do that. And Nolan Son is a license with us, and they have a certificate of insurance on file with us, so. I have no problem with him installing Christmas lights on a few trees.
Okay. Any other comments from any questions of Mr. Wolf? Any public comments on this?
Can I get a copy of the certificate of insurance just for our records?
Any public comments? I'll close public comments. Any other questions from the board, comments from the board? So you don't know what kind of lights you're going to put up. It would just be dependent. If we approve this, Mr. Wolf, you would have the say over, I would ask that you have the say over what happens if this is something we entertain.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay.
I just don't know where you're gonna find Christmas lights this time of year, but yes, Christmas lights.
Sure. Sure.
So board, this just didn't make it to the agenda on a timely matter, so we're just asking for an exception to take this out of order and grant the approval.
Yeah, we still would need a motion this is a formal request. Yes.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Hearing a motion in a second, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Miss Tisdale?
Aye.
Miss Smith?
Aye.
Miss Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, and please just work with Mr. Wolf. Thank you.
Thank you.
We do have one more request tonight. You're done, Royce. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you're good. Thank you. Mr. Saranac, would you come up to the front? I'm going to introduce it, but Mr. Saranac can fill in any board requests. You may recall a few months ago, we approved HRP Construction Inc. for a pollution issue that we have going on 8th Street where where polluted water is daylighting. And we approved the road to be shut down to complete this project. It is a redevelopment project. But once we got into the actual construction part of this, we realized that what we didn't know was that one of the sewers was collapsed, and therefore we could not complete the project. Now we have a plan to complete this project, and with that, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Saranac.
Thank you. Alan Saranac, I'm the attorney for the Redevelopment Commission. Yeah, when we were here in January, and if you might, well, you guys will recall, that's about it. We were trying to get this thing rushed through so that it's currently an IDEM environmental contamination site. And we've been working on it with our consultants, August Mack, for the better part of 3 years now. The goal when we were here in January, given the fact that having gone through all the hoops of IDEM, we were then at the last stage, which they had approved, and that was installing a trench interceptor that would be installed within the sewer line. And then all the contaminants that are there to the east of 8th Street.
You're correct.
Okay. Would then pass through time, would just pass through the trench interceptor, be cleaned out through the sanitary district, and ultimately turn this into valuable property again. So the requirement from IDEM is that you have to have 2 testing periods. One would have been in February, the other would have been in October. And if both testing tests had been cleared, had been approved, then we would have been able to close the site and then actually move towards development in 2025. Well, as Skylar said, the very first step of this was to actually shoot a camera through the sanitary line. They couldn't get the camera through because the sanitary line was down, was crushed. So we're now back to the drawing board again, and that's where we are at this point. We still need to put the trench interceptor in, but in conjunction, we like to say that in conjunction with 2 city departments working together,
The sanitary district needs to repair that sewer line and sewer main. One of which is an entirely new sewer line, which will go a little bit to the north of the current line as well as repair the current line. So this is now a joint venture between the Redevelopment Commission and the sanitary district, with the ultimate goal, putting in a sanitary line and putting in the trench interceptor, going back to address the environmental hazard that's there right now. The road closure would be from working with IDEM can be one of the biggest headaches you can ever have. As of Friday, we're hoping that the road closure will start, subject to your approval, on April 22nd. As of today, I still can't tell you that for certain. IDEM just kind of marches to their own beat. So I don't know. We hope to have an answer from IDEM this week. And the hope then would be that we would close the road ask for permission to close the road from April 22nd to June 19th, off and on. Anytime there's 4 days in a row of which there would not be any work going on, the road would be open those days. But it would basically then be during daytime or being actual closure because they're gonna have to dig up part of the road to put the sewer line in. But basically would be then from, for that 6-week period of time, no longer than that, probably closer to 8-week period of time. And the closure would be on East 8th Street, and East Street, with the detour going into Tryon Street. Fortunately, that's not a very heavily traveled road, won't interfere with a lot of traffic and read patterns, but still, there are some residents there. There's a lot of work to be going on down there, and we do want to, but most importantly, we want to get rid of the contaminants that's there on the property that has been going to Michigan Boulevard down to 8th Street for the past 40, 50 years. But that's what the ultimate goal is.
Corporal Wright, do you have any comments on this? Or I know you haven't had a chance to probably review it.
I talked to him beforehand.
Okay.
So, and it's the same thing we were at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I want to be sure of is it's kind of like when we discussed it the last time, that it's not, the road's going to be closed nonstop, or is it going to be open and closed periodically?
Open and closed periodically.
Then, yeah, that's fine.
you're okay
Because
with
that's
that?
what we had discussed last time and all.
Okay. And I think what we would do is I would have HRP just make sure that if they are closing for an extremely or longer period of time or something, I don't know what's going to happen out there. We didn't know we were going to find a collapsed sewer. That they would work with you and try to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and that's my concern, just a response for emergency vehicles between police, fire, and EMS is also.
Yeah, it's kind of a thoroughfare through there, you know.
Right.
Okay. Anything else, Corporal Wright? Okay. This does need to be done. It is, I would consider it an emergency. We have kind of, it should have been done years ago. We just didn't know. So now we're taking care of it and making it a priority to get this done. Any other comments from the board or questions from the board? Any comments from the public? Any public comment on this request? Hearing none, I'll close public comments. We would need a formal approval for this request to make this happen. And we hope that we get our IDEN permit soon. Any? Gene, you had a question, comment?
Street closure.
To approve the street closure from
April 22nd to June 19th, off and on. As necessary to reconstruct the sewer line and to install the trench interceptor.
So I'll make a motion.
Okay, take a stab at it.
To approve street closure periodically between May 22nd and June 19th as needed to repair the collapsed sewer line.
Right, and it's a closure just specifically East 8th Street through and East Street.
Okay.
Is it May or April 22nd?
April 22nd.
April.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, and Is there a second?
Support.
Okay, hearing motion and support. I'll call for the roll. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Let's just make sure we instruct HRP to work with Corporal Wright if there's anything weird going on. Okay.
We'll keep everybody updated on that as well. So
Thank you, Alan.
thank you very much. Hopefully.
Our last order of business today is any board comments. Do I hear any board comments? Gene, you got your light on. Any board comments? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to adjourn? Support.
All right. Thank you.